Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Find the Intersection. My name is Paul Bezay. Today is Wednesday, which is Old Testament Day, and we're going to be looking at 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 to 2 and 6 to 14. It's a story of Elijah and Elisha. Great story, great story. So Elijah was a prophet and mentor to Elisha. And that's kind of the context. And Elijah is about ready to be taken to heaven in a whirlwind. And so we have this relationship between mentor and mentee, which is kind of the focus point of our passage today. And so a few things that jumped out to me is when Elijah took his cloak, his mantle, and crossed over the water, Elisha followed him, and Elijah asked, "Well, what can I do for you?" And Elisha responded to Elijah, said, "Will you give me double your spirit?" And I find that a very interesting response because double inheritance was given to the firstborn, and so in a way, Elisha is requesting to be Elijah's the person to inherit the prophet role that Elijah had, to be his son almost. And so I find the connecting points between this mentor-mentee relationship and family and the inheritance to be incredibly important part of this. The second thing that stood out to me is when Elisha picks up the mantle and strikes the water, Elisha did what Elijah did. And so he is definitely taking up the mantle, taking up the responsibility that Elijah had. And he is doing what his mentor did. Now, for me, I'm thinking about Jesus as I'm reading this, and I think about the disciples of Jesus. A disciple would do what the rabbi would do. And they would copy, be imitators. Even Paul talks about this imitation. This is at the heart of what a rabbi-disciple relationship would be. And so we see this here in Elijah and Elisha, as Elisha wants to do what Elijah did, which is pretty cool. I like that. And then the third point that stood out to me as I took a look at this passage is there's a connection between Moses and Elijah. You see, Moses had a mentee named Joshua, who he turned over the mantle to. And Elijah had a mentee named Elisha, which we talked about. And they both had this water scene where, Moses crossed the Red Sea, and then Joshua crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land. And then we see here Elijah crossing the water, and then Elisha returning back. Anyway, I get a little confused between Elijah and Elisha. It's just kind of hard to say. But anyway, I think you get the point. So there's really a focus here of mentor-mentee, the idea of turning over the responsibility, empowering somebody to do what you do. And that is at the heart of discipleship. So very powerful. And I would imagine at the end of the week, we'll probably connect this back to Monday's passage when we talk about really what does it mean to follow Jesus. Because if remember, Monday's passage had kind of dealt with the heart of following Jesus and the commitment that's necessary. Anyway, that's what I got. So what did you get out of this passage from 2 Kings chapter 2, Elijah and Elisha? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I will be back tomorrow as we will read Psalm 77. Grace and peace, everyone. Have a great day.